just bought a brand new telly. Anyway, what we're going to do is put it on the wall. Now in this video I'm going to show you the best way to make your own TV wall mount bracket. Hey, what's up guys, it's your man JB here, back with another video, and today we're looking at how to quite simply make your own wall bracket for a TV like this. Now this is a 60-inch TV. It's a bit big, isn't it? We weren't going to go quite as big, but we're glad we did now because it's going up on this wall here and it's a perfect viewing distance from the sofa. Anyway, enough of that. What we're going to do right now is look at how we can make, quite simply, a bracket for this TV. Now I'm going to share with you right now how I'm going to do this. Now what I've got here is actually a TV wall mount bracket that I made, but certainly for a much smaller TV. So don't worry, I'm not going to be putting this huge thing up using this, but just to give you an idea, firstly I've got this section here. You've got 4 holes in it, and basically that is bolted to the TV. We've then got another bit of timber on the front, screwed and glued, bit of U-channel on there, perfect. So that goes on the back of the TV. Then we've got another piece of timber here, bit of U-channel on it, that goes against the wall. So you fix that on the wall, this is fixed against the TV, and you basically just drop it on there like that. Look, perfect, absolutely perfect. I've used this for years. I've made a couple of these and they do not fail. But hey, let's get one thing clear here. I'm not going to take it lightly about putting that up on there. I mean, I'm not just going to think, yeah, let's just put a little bit of timber on there, that will be alright. I'm definitely going to make sure here that the fixings, the bracket and everything is really secure. Now TVs these days, they don't weigh a massive amount, but that is quite heavy because it is quite a big TV. It's about 1.37 meters long by, I think it's about 800 millimeters tall. So yeah, it's a fair old size. Anyway, let's get to it and make this bracket. Right now, as you can see, we've got the back of the TV here, and these holes are the mounting holes for the bolts if you want to hang your TV. So this is what we are going to be using. Now I've got some 2B1 for the TV timber and to go on the wall, and then I've got some 3B1 which is going to go across the TV here and also across on the wall, which will take the U-channel. First thing I'm going to do is just measure the length of the timber I'm going to attach to the TV. So I've cut the timbers for the back of the telly. I did do them a little bit longer. I did them at 500 high, and one of the reasons for that is because I actually want to put one of the longer strips at the top here, so I made it just that little bit longer. And actually I've got all this lot going on here, and which means I'm going to need to put the rail on the bottom just above this section, so I'm going to end up having one here and one here, so at least it keeps all of that free. And that is a consideration, to make sure you're not putting this kind of frame on your TV and then not being able to plug anything in. Now as you can see here, I've drilled out the holes and they are at 300 millimeter centres. What I've also done is put a spade bit in there as well, just to allow for the bolt and washer. So you can see I've got this bolt going in, which I did have from a previous installation, and I just wanted to go sink that into there just a little bit, well, all the way actually, just so I get maximum depth with that screw or that bolt into the hole here. So what we'll do right now is screw this on to the TV. So they're on, but they're not on massively tight. They're not going anywhere, but I haven't done them up really tight. They're not as tight as I'm going to do them before they go on the wall. But it's exactly in the right position. So what I can do now is take my other pieces of timber which I've cut. Now I've cut these to 750 millimetres, which I thought is a reasonable size given the size of the telly, and actually when you look at it like that, it spans over quite a fair amount of the telly, so I'm quite pleased about that. What I do need to make sure here is that these are completely parallel with the TV. Now these holes are in the dead centre of this upright, so I'm thinking if I was to put a speed square there and put this on top, in theory that's going to be exactly level. So what I've done so far is put this on here and just fixed it with one screw, because I just want to make sure it's in exactly the right position. And if I put the speed square under there, that looks good, and that also looks good there. And if I line it up with that part of the telly, that looks good as well. So I'm pretty pleased about where that is sitting. So with two screws in there that are just holding it in place temporarily, I can drill the rest of the holes and I know it's in exactly the right position. Just make sure you don't drill through the TV at this point. So this is 20mm thick timber, so I've got 20 and 40, and I'm using a 4x30 screw, and I'm going to allow it to sink into the timber a bit. So I might just put a little countersink on it just to allow it to sink quite nicely without splitting the wood. Okay, so we'll take these out. Little bit of glue. Definitely want to make sure that's not coming away. So we'll tighten one of these up. Just double check with the square again. Okay, that looks good. This is going to be a proper job. You know what I'm saying? Proper job. There we go. Nice. That glue is squeezed out, so that is telling me that that has pulled nice and tight. And that's still looking pretty good. I'm happy. Right. Just got to do the same with the bottom one. The frame for the TV is finished, so we've screwed and glued the two rails to the uprights, so that's perfect. We can move on to the next stage, which is going to be preparing the wall bracket. So what we've got for the wall bracket will be two uprights, very similar to what we've got here. Now the reason I'm using uprights on this one and not just putting a rail straight on the wall is because it is going into a dry lined wall. Now if you were going into a solid wall, you could quite easily get away with just drilling this straight into the face and then connecting the alley onto there and just hanging it that way. But because this is dry lined, I do need to ensure that I've got lots of fixings, and I'm also going to secure the fixings in this vertical line. It just gives it more strength than doing it this way, because it's more likely to pull out if it's this way as opposed to this way. Now I do need to stress here, I cannot be responsible for your TV falling off your wall if you do attempt this particular bracket that I've designed, if you like. But I am confident that because this TV is so close to the wall, there's not a lot of weight coming, sort of trying to pull it out of the wall. Now if this was a pull away from the wall TV bracket, then there'd be a lot of leverage, and it would really create a lot of weight coming out from the wall, and that could quite easily come off. And to be honest, I don't think I could make one which actually extends. Maybe I could, but it would take a bit of thinking. So I like this idea. I've done it before, and this goes flat to the wall and it just pulls straight down close to the wall with no extra leverage. Alright then, so we got the uprights that I've cut, and I have cut them longer than these just for the reason that I've said, so I can get more fixings and it will be more secure. So I've got those cut, and I've also got another 2 rails cut at the same length as the ones on the TV. And what I've also done is cut some alley U channel. You can see there, it's a U channel. And this is the way in which the TV is going to hang off the wall, because one piece will be here, one will be here, and that will literally just sit inside each other with no movement whatsoever. So I have had to do a couple of shorter pieces, but I've basically got 4 lengths of alley U-channel to go on the 4 pieces here. Now I'm going to start by putting the alley on top of the timber that's going on the wall. Now I have drilled these out. I've put about a 5mm hole in these, so I've got 2 previously in here, and I've put 4 in this bit, and I've got 5 in these longer bits here, which is absolutely plenty. I'm going to be using these 4x30 screws again, so they really will sink quite far into the timber below. And I know from doing this previously that it holds it pretty tight. So holding that in position there, we'll just drill these out and put the screws in. So I've attached the alley to the timbers that are going up against the wall, so they're done. I have cut the uprights that will be fixed into the wall. I am having 3 of these, so this section here will span across 3 of these uprights. I've got 4 fixings going in one upright, which gives me 12 fixings. I'm not taking any chances. This section here will be against the wall, and that will sit on there, and then this upright is going to be towards the end, but I'm just looking at the best position for it. So this will be on the wall and this will be attached to this. So I probably want to come down a fair bit, because I've got another one of these that's going to sit right here, and I want a nice bit of timber obviously to screw against, otherwise if I had it high it would be quite close to the end. So I'm thinking in terms of height of this, that's exactly where I want it. So what I'm going to do is mark on here on this upright. So I'll just put a line here, and this is top of telly timber. So top of TV timber, and the reason I need to do that is just so I can then hold that against there, and then I know exactly how far down to screw that. So this is going right in the middle, so I need to find the centre of the telly and then work out exactly where from the centre this is going. I've worked out the centre of the wall. Oh, did you get that? I didn't. It's all a bit confusing. It will make sense. Now we're putting this TV in the middle of the wall, okay? So I've marked on the batten here where the middle of the TV is. So height of the TV, half that, that's the middle. I've marked already where that first batten needs to be, and by holding that in position, I've then transferred the middle of the TV onto the batten. So I now know that the middle of the batten there needs to go, or not the middle of the batten, but that mark there where I've written middle needs to go in the middle of the wall, and that means that when I put everything in position as I am, it should work out right. But what I'm going to do in a moment is take this bracket off to get this in exactly the right position. Now you may not be able to see this, but here, this is the exact centre of the wall, height-wise and length-wise. So I've got my timber marked for the middle, and that just means that this needs to go right there. That's where it's going. I've got the first fixing in on the top there, but obviously only one, and that allows me to get that exactly in the right position. I can pilot hole the wall, take that off and put the fixings in. Now I'm happy with these 4 fixings for each upright, but these are the fixings that I'm using, and I love these. These are I think they're an 8mm wall plug, and I'm using these 5x80 screws. So a size 5 screw goes really nicely into these, and what these do, they either expand or they pull in against the plaster. These are multi-purpose. I do use these a lot. So let's mark the rest of these holes up on the wall and get the rest of these fixings in. Okay, and then we can get the rest of those screwed in. Just get them located first. It's normally a good idea not to drive all the way in. If you've got multiple screws going in on anything really, then get them all located, drive them in a little bit, make sure they're all in position, and I'm happy with that, so we can go ahead and tighten them all up. With that one in position, I've marked on the wall here exactly where these need to go. So I've levelled them up and marked them. So I'll just do the same thing, I think, and just do the first hole. Well, altogether, they're pretty solid. As I've said already, this is only downward force, and the weight of that telly on all 3 of them combined, no problem. Okay, next thing we do, we take this off the TV again, because this will all be one solid unit now, which is great. Great, there we go. So there's our TV bracket. I'm going to take these bolts out for now, because they're going to get in the way. Now remember what I did on this middle timber here, I marked on the side where the top of this timber is. So I can literally hold that in position there, and I know that's exactly where this is needing to sit. So what I can do now is take my other bits of batten that have got the U-channel on, and I can fix it to this. But before I do that, I'm going to put the U-channel on here. Only screwed on the TV frame, so what I want to do really is put that there, so slot that into this one, and then I can basically ensure that that sits on that mark exactly where that needs to be, and I know that is where to fix it. Just need to make sure it's level, and we are good to go. So I've marked the bottom here, and we'll just put that onto there and mark it there and there. With one screw, and I can level this off as needed. So I'm going to put this on here, and because again I'm not quite sure which part is exactly level, what I do know is that the holes here are level because they're exact on the TV. So what I'm going to do is just use the level and put the level right in the middle of the hole, and I can see that that's out there. So I need to lift this side up here just slightly. It's always good to put one screw in the middle and then you can adjust it. So we try and get it as close as we can with levelling out the timber, but we've always got to fine tune it. Alright, we're on the money. So let's take that off without that moving and get another fixing in there. So that is going nowhere. Integrity test. Ugh, that's definitely going to hold, and that's just one bar. Well, obviously it's putting the weight on all of these, but yeah, fantastic. So we'll put this bracket back on here, which should be completely level now, which means then all we need to do is to put this one on by holding this one down tight and then pushing this one up. What we can do is get exactly the right position, because what we want to happen is when this goes on, we want the weight of this to be on this and this, not just one of them. We're nearly there. Whoa, that's pulled it right in. Get one more in here. And we'll do the same on this side here. So that will be the TV. Right, let's get 3 more screws in here. Sides on. I'm definitely not going to be trying to get that TV up on here on my own, that's for sure. Right, let's get this back on the TV. I think I'll do the most of it with the driver. Right, job done. We're ready to put it up. Slow down, JB, come on, slow down. Just before we put it up on the wall, I do need to take the legs off, obviously. And the other thing that might be a good idea to do is plug in all the necessary power leads and HDMI leads, because I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get my hand behind there, but it might just be a little bit tight. So we've got the power cable goes in here, and I've got a couple of HDMI's to go in here, and that's it. So not too many cables, luckily. Right then, got my beautiful assistant here because the legs are off, everything's connected. We just got to put it on now, so that's it. There we go. Perfect. Woo! Let's give it a bit of a wiggle. Awesome. That's going nowhere. Round of applause for Rani. Oh yes, fantastic. That's looking brilliant. So you can see from the side then exactly how that's sitting. So U channel at the bottom and at the top, holding it in position. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, we definitely didn't want this too high, and actually that position is really good. So we've got a nice even space all the way around it. Hey, there we go. Who's this dude? We'll skip to the end of this video and I'll put some links in there so you can go check it out. Have you seen that video yet? You better go check it out. I've made the bed and I've also finished it in a nice white weather. Well, thanks for watching this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you found it useful. Like I said at the beginning of the video, you can make a much simpler version if your TV is quite small. I kind of went to town with this one because it is rather big. Any questions or comments, leave those in the box below. That'll be awesome. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. I'm getting ready for movie night. Oh yes.